Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking about accepting vulnerability, accepting that I'm vulnerable, and I'm going to go into detail about my autism diagnosis. When I was diagnosed with autism, it was, well, back then it was Asperger's, which I think is like high functioning autism. There's been a few name changes since then. But yeah, um, just when it comes to vulnerability, as a male, as a man, I think men struggle to accept the vulnerable side, the vulnerability. Because I think like men like to show off like the hard, they don't feel emotions, they don't show their emotions. I don't really know about myself, but I think I was probably more on the side of where I was more in touch with my emotions, probably more to other males, especially around my age as well, which can lead to bullying if you're in a school setting. But yeah, not too sure about that because I feel like talking to a few people that can still like hide things, I can mask stuff. Because recently I got reviewed for something to do with like my support, because at the minute I'm in supported living, where I do have to go into detail and be more transparent about my vulnerability, and I do struggle with that. What do I struggle with? And like my support worker was saying stuff that were quite humiliating, like, well, Ben struggles with this, Ben struggles with that. It's embarrassing. Whether I agree with some of the things I said is probably for another story. But yeah, just accepting that I'm vulnerable, and as an autistic person, someone with Asperger's, I'm probably, whether I like it or not, going to be more vulnerable than other people. And I fucking hate that. I hate being made to feel like I'm lesser than, or struggle more than them, or I'm dumber than them, or I'm just being more vulnerable, just stuff like that. And to a level, I believe everyone is vulnerable, whether they act like the harder man. To a level, they're vulnerable. Like I've come across when I was in hospital, when I was let out, I was on a bus at one point and I bumped into some like typical hard man and his girlfriend who had like, she had like a load of Botox, and you can just tell like we're a couple from hell. This guy was probably a typical hard man, just didn't give a fuck, said it as it is. And he said, mate, move your bag, because I had my bag on one of the seats. Didn't thought he'd call me a miserable cunt at the end of it. And this was when I was in hospital, sectioned in hospital, my lowest fucking point. Did he give me the time of day to think that maybe I'm going through hell at the minute, a really bad time. But people like in these hard, emotionless, hard men are probably going through similar, probably going through bad times themselves, but they're probably mask it in ways of like being a proper dickhead, being a proper cunt. I remember that angering me. I got so fucking angry. I didn't beat him up or assaulted him, but maybe it probably could have ended up that way if it got a bit more out of line. But obviously, I don't let bullies bully. So I thought I'd say something. Obviously, you don't get anywhere with these sort of people because they're not right in the head, have they? Like they're nasty, but why are they nasty? Because they're probably not had it good themselves. They probably had a life. Their lifestyle has been abuse, probably, and that's just normal to them. They've not had a good life themselves, clearly. But obviously, I commented. Luckily, it didn't end up getting violent or anything, but I just don't let bullies bully because there would have been a time where I would have done nothing and I let them bully me. But I feel like these days, for better or worse, I try to stand up for myself because I just hate bullying. I don't understand it. When it's like certain levels of bullying, when it's just basically being nasty for no reason, disrespectful. I don't do any of that shit. But yeah, I think like as someone who's got Asperger's, how Asperger's has affected my life. Like I've been watching a YouTuber that brought something similar up yesterday, but where he's got autism as well, or Asperger's, where it affects his social life. There's probably possible friendships that I've missed out on because of my Asperger's diagnosis, which is heartbreaking. I have a support worker where she's a bit of a weird, wacky person. I've mentioned her before. I feel like she's a bit fucked in the head herself. And she's always talking about embracing my Asperger's, embracing being different. Oh, Asperger's is a gift. Oh, if you didn't have Asperger's, you wouldn't be this you wouldn't be this amazing person. You won't be friendly. But I've, it always kind of pisses me off when she says that because does she not realise, which I believe, that Asperger's has ruined my life? It probably has. It's taken my social life away from me. It's taken my love life away from me. It's taken my whole life away from me, possibly. My social life is probably people I used to go to school with. I don't see anyone from school, but I think when it comes to primary school, because I think a lot of people still see each other there, and I'm not involved. And I think that's because of my Asperger's, because I was different. I'll tell you a story about school and stuff. When it came to going to high school, I didn't go to like any sort of special needs school or anything. I went to another mainstream school, but I went to a different high school to everyone else at my primary school because of this. I thought like the education government system thought it was be a good idea if I went to a different school, which I think was just a dumb, retarded decision. Obviously, another failure from them, which of one of many failures, to be honest with you. where I went to a different school, so all my peers got separated, isolated, made to feel different. I ended up going to another school in like another town because they had a, I think it's because they had a better special needs apartment. I think that was the reason. It was a mainstream school, but they had a better special needs apartment because everyone else got into the same school, but they said there were no places with me. And I went to high school at a weird time where in my town people weren't getting into the first or second choices. Something went weird about it. There was a failure. And if I went any other year, maybe I might have went to the same school as my peers and maybe still have had a social life to this day. Who fucking knows? But I basically got separated. I lost contact with everyone. And because I went to a school where everyone comes from different towns, it's hard to keep in touch with people. So now I don't really have any mates. I've had to try and rebuild a group of mates by going to places like Andy's Man Club. But this is stuff that's recent. Like after getting sectioned from hospital, I've had to rebuild my life. And I think it's come down to maybe that, being separated from everyone. I thought it was a good idea, which that's just how corrupt the system is, because they don't think about you. They don't think about you as a person with feelings. They probably think you can't think for yourself anyway. You can't. You're probably not capable of thinking. You're just some dumb, thick fucking retard. Some vegetable. It angers me. I've always hated them for that. So yeah, I had to go to a different school from people that I spent 7 years with. What in the right world? Is that right? Maybe I could sue them for that. I don't know. Get money out of them for that. Fuck knows. Because I think they've basically possibly ruined my fucking life because of that. And that's the system. They ruin your life. They possibly have made me vulnerable, more vulnerable than I actually am. I think that's enough about that. But yeah, just being vulnerable. I struggle because I'm lonely. Getting a job. I think people get a job because it's about who you know, not what you know. And I don't really know anyone. I don't get on with my dad. If I got on with my dad, I might have worked at his place, but I don't. He works in a warehouse, and he's quite a brutal person anyway. So he's probably people that are possibly worse than him that are just more horrible than, but with bullying and all that. So I don't do that shit. Like I said, I've probably had my social life taken away from me. Maybe that's me being weird, being a bit too autistic. I don't fucking know. And these days, I've got some sort of social anxiety where I could probably go out and try and socialise with people, but I don't know how to. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I could go into a random pub, socialise with people, try and get women. Oh, that's probably for another story when it comes to love life, but that's never really been any success. Possibly because of my Asperger's, and that's just hard. It's like there's something in that brain that's stopping me, and that's scary. That's something I've always struggled with. It's like a computer virus or a blocked website where it just doesn't register. It's like you go into a website, it's like, dun, dun, not allowed, you can't fucking go in there. It doesn't work like that. Look, I won't class myself as an incel, but when it comes to like stuff like that, because I feel like incels can be fucking truly terrible people, fucks in the head, mentally ill, where they have proper radical views, and you can tell with a lot of them that the they can't get women because of their own mistakes. It's that because of it's plain to see why they can't, because they're terrible fucking people. A lot of these people, and they go on online forums and stuff like that. I don't do any of that shit. I don't talk to other incels. I'm not part of a community or any of that shit. I don't do any of that shit. So I personally wouldn't consider myself as one, but it's got a different meaning these days anyway. Maybe that's something for another video though. But yeah, clumsy decision making. I feel like I'm not really best at making decisions at times, and I think it's all it took me this year to admit that, because I think I've done some silly things that have nearly cost me this year. Go like the sort of stuff I did at university, because maybe I didn't get anywhere with university because of clumsy decision making. I don't think I really picked the right course. Possibly, maybe I should have done something different. I don't know what that would have been. Maybe illustration and animation. So I got the best of both. Maybe that would have been a better course for me. Because I don't think I was a natural animator. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say on that. But yeah, just accepting that I'm vulnerable. That's mainly the topic of this video. Perhaps catch you in another video. Goodbye.